So I was going out to Rainbow Falls today. Thought maybe, it shouldn't be too bad. Just a couple inches of snow. But the mud, the ruts in the road are like 8 inches deep. So when I ran through there, I spun around and immediately got out of there. Because if it got worse than that, I would have been stuck. There would have been no way to get out. So I'm back on the main road. If this thing had a winch and maybe 4x4 capability, better mud tires or something, I probably would have continued, but I don't. So I'm gonna stick to the main road, one that's traveled lots, so that if I get stuck, I can pull out my recovery gear and flag somebody as I pass by, because this is a pretty traveled road. As far as I know, this road is also paved. So that's cool. Since Rainbow Falls was a bust, I ended up going down to a family favorite, 3 Mile, just down the road.
We are dreaming in the dark. We are nothing more than dust. Search but you stay lost. We are reaching for the stars, but we're making this too hard. And I wonder where you are.
I've never really been one to script my videos and have everything ready to go, but I was trying to portray that you didn't need a lot of money to get a van build started. And I was having a lot of difficulty trying to explain in my own words for that you guys could understand what I was trying to say. Okay. Tidied the place up. I'm here at 3 Mile, just enjoying the nice little break before I hit the road again, because I'd like to start a fire. Oh, maybe I'll start a fire here. I don't know. Maybe we'll check out Cherryville wreck site tomorrow. Basically what I'm trying to tell you in this video is that if you've got a dream and your bank account says that you can't afford your dream, you better change the way you think, because there's gonna be a way if you want there to be a way. And you will make that plan to change your dreams so that that dream is a reality. Whether it takes you a year, 2 years, 5 years, 6 years, you will make that dream happen if you really want it to happen. And that's how you make things happen. Suggesting that it may be difficult to get started. It is kind of difficult to get started because you need to get, your masters on YouTube in electronics, solar panels, woodworking, insulating, all of that fun stuff. If you're doing water inputs and faucets with showers and heating elements and all of that fun stuff, it can get pretty complicated. So you got to do a lot of research. Now, I'm not just talking like, oh yeah, flip a switch, turn on an hour-long YouTube video, and you got your master's degree. Sometimes it can take like half a day to a full day, maybe 2 days, of doing the research to do everything right. Once you've got all your research done up, there's a lot of other things you need to consider, the cost of the electronics, the solar controller, the solar panels, the roof racks. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to get started on Facebook Marketplace if you want to save a bunch of money, and look into getting secondhand items that are half price or even 5% of the price that you would normally pay if you paid a brand new full price. For example, the roof racks, if you would have bought them on Amazon brand new, they would be over $450 or $490 or something, and that's including being on sale. And we picked them up for $25, so that was a great find. So junkyards and garage sales are a definite place to start out and get started with your fan builds. The other place is Facebook Marketplace. Obviously, I've said that a couple times. That's where I found a Victron controller for pretty cheap, and then found out later that Amazon put them all on sale for extremely great price. I ended up picking up another one, including this MPP T7515 that I was including in my project for the 200 watt panel that's going to go on the rear of the van, which I'll need to find another set of roof racks to do that as well, because I would really like to get that cargo bin put on the second half of the van so that I can put a chainsaw and a ladder on the side of the van, a few things like that, just for safety reasons. If there's a tree falls and I don't want to hack it with an axe, well, I can just pull up the chainsaw, things like that. Put recovery gear up there and a few other things up there. And but that's, I can't afford that right now. I've spent all my money on this van, put everything I have into this van so that I can feel comfortable in it. At this current time, I'm very comfortable in it. It's super warm. It's going to be great for cold weather temperatures. It's almost too warm. I may have to downgrade the heater for the next upgrade. I may pick up a 2 kilowatt or a 3 kilowatt and just stick with a smaller unit. And it might just save electricity and power. Or I mean, electricity and diesel at the same time, running a smaller unit. The other thing is finding scrap wood. That was a great find. If I do plan on upgrading it later, I can pull up the screws from the bottom, replace this countertop with something better if I don't like it. But right now, it's sufficient. I did notice that it did crack here and it did separate. I'm not sure why, but I'm not a super great carpenter. But it works, it's functional. I've spilt some stuff on it, I've washed it down, it comes clean, so it'll do for now. Same with this one. This one's doing pretty good. Become comfortable. This is my 4th night in my van, tonight will be my 5th night in the van, so I'm getting very comfortable. I'm finding little routines on what I've done. I've noticed that since I don't have drawers, I've got to sit my butt on the floor to see in the cupboards, especially when I'm reaching deep back in the back. But that's okay, because I've come to realize that you kind of have to live just like you would a fridge, first in, first out. So if I used cinnamon, steak spice, and relight and those things more often than the Lipton soup package that I've got sitting down there, those things can be stuffed in the back. So if I'm craving Lipton chicken noodle soup, just grab it from the back and pull it forward. So there's a few things that I've worked out. With the freezer, I've noticed that if I've got my curtains wide open and I got my heat blasting, the heat goes straight right to the freezer. So I've either got to turn the vent so it's pointing up, which brings a bunch of cool air down into my feed area, which obviously I would like some heat. So that's also a consideration I've noticed that I've got to be aware of right now. I've just got my jacket up against the freezer. The freezer is inside of an insulated blanket jacket or whatever, or cover, but I just prefer to be extra safe and have the extra heat protecting, or not have that heat directly impacting the side of the freezer, because it's kind of counterintuitive anyways. And I've noticed that in the front there's 2 vents underneath that come straight out and they hit directly into the freezer while I'm driving. So I've got to be aware that I shouldn't have too much hot air coming out of those floor vents. So that's something I've got to be aware of. But at the same time, in the future, it'll be nice when it's hot out. I can turn the air conditioner on, have freezing cold air directly on the freezer. So that's cool, especially for those long drives. I have one problem so far, and that is my alternator is struggling to keep up putting out 60 amps of power to the DC to DC charger only when the lights are going, the heat's on, everything's running in the van after it's warmed up. The voltage does seem to drop a little bit, so when I get my mechanical inspection, I'll have them inspect the alternator. If it is in fact what I think it is, just a 105 amp, it looks like it's fairly new. I don't think it's sufficient enough to run everything I want, including the future, which is running LED bars, light bars, fog lights, and a few other accessories on the front of the van, including a winch in the future. So we'll have to look into that when I get my mechanical inspection for the motorhome. Seems to be okay. So as long as I'm not driving a lot through town at night, I should be fine. You know, stop, go, stop, go. I've got a 2 feet drive the van, revving the van just enough to keep the RPMs high enough so that the van has enough output on the belt for the alternator to put enough electricity into the battery for it voltage not to drop below 14 volts, which it does. It drops straight down to 13 volts, which is kind of concerning. So anyone in the comments, if you know anything about alternators, I think my alternator might not be sufficient, but you can tell me for sure. But I'm pretty confident that I need to replace it. One consideration you need to think about when you're installing your electronics. I was pretty confident that this had a 140 amp alternator, but maybe it's not pulling enough RPMs to have enough amperage output for the DC to DC charger to draw what it needs to draw. Now, thinking it was a cargo van and being a work van, you'd think it would have that extra energy stock from the factory, but that's just something I'll have to look into. I'll get back to you guys when I know the answer to that. Well, I'm gonna go pull out some firewood and start a fire. So yeah, you don't need a $60,000 van, and you don't need a $50,000 or a $20,000 van build. Just grab some plywood, throw it in there. Just do the basics. Do the bare minimum that you can get it so that it's functional, so that you're not spending a million days trying to get your van to the way you want it. At that point, you're just gonna forever prolong this process of getting in the van or making excuses of not getting in the van, when all you need to do is just get in the van. Spend a few bucks, get it working, and go enjoy it. You don't want to jump head first and do a huge build and realize that, there's certain things that you don't like. Now that I do this, when I go to build my major van or, move into a bigger van, then I know what I like, I know what I want, I know what I'm going to get, and I'm not going to do things that I know that I don't like. For example, if I don't want the water to be so low, I will remember to put it up so it's higher, so I don't have to reach so far down to grab my water. But for now, I've got a workaround. I'll just put it in a water bottle, transfer the water bottle into a pot or whatever I'm doing, whatever I'm cooking, whatnot, things like that. So I've got a workaround that I can use to get away with it for now. But if I was to rebuild my van, that is one thing I'd update. So, yeah, I'm just going to go enjoy my van. I'm going to enjoy my fire. Got a little fire going. I'm going to enjoy my lake. I love this lake. There's a little bit of snow up on the mountain. Probably take off just a little bit later because there's a bit of a hill here. And I don't want to go up here if it's going to snow. Not that I'm worried that I might not get out, but just in case. I'll get the van out of here. We'll go park down the road. Still on the lake. And then maybe tomorrow we'll go check out Cherryville Rec Site. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I know it was short and sweet, but I wanted to talk about van, the costs, and get yourself in a van and go explore, go adventure, get out in nature, and go enjoy your life. We'll see you guys later. Peace out. Thanks for watching, guys. If you guys liked my video, please like the video down below. Hit the thumbs up button. Subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace.